Welcome back to Hero Review and Day 3 of Spider Week, and today we are going to be looking at Andrew Garfield Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Some say Mr. Garfield gives us the worst live-action Spider-Man to date, but maybe not. What do I think? Is he trash? Let's find out. So the backstory of this Peter Parker takes us back to little Peter Parker because we get some scenes of him as a little spider kid. When he was a young boy, Peter's parents, who were sort of like James Bond in this universe, they kind of just leave randomly one night, leaving Peter with Aunt May and Uncle Rehash. From there, Peter would grow up to have the kind of origin we all know and love. He'd go to school, take some creepy pictures of girls, and he'd get bitten by that spider that gives him the exaggerated swagger of a quipping teen. Eventually creating web shooters because web blood is disgusting as heck, let's be honest, Peter would develop the most important skill for all Spider-Men to have, sewing. He'd make a suit and bam, now he's Spider-Man. With the origin we get with this version of Spider-Man, somehow it tries really hard to be different, but also really hard to be as similar as possible to Tobey's version. Both versions have the Uncle Ben stuff and the, oh no, he's getting bullied stuff, but let's be honest, Andrew Garfield is way too cool to be bullied. So you got some classic stuff, but you also got this weird stuff where his parents are spies and their plane crashes and I don't know, who knows what's going on there. As weird as the spy parent thing is, at the end of the day, I think the origin is still good. The stuff with Uncle Ben, regardless of seeing it played out, it still does a great job of pushing Peter forward as a character. It is of course predictable and played out, but it still works. I think what makes this origin work is Andrew Garfield himself and the writing around him. Garfield is just so damn likable as a character, and it's hard not to like him. The writing is also solid because as good as Garfield is, only when working in tandem with good writing can he be as good as the one we get. We've seen it done over and over and over and over again, and even my grandma's blind kitten saw Uncle Ben's death coming, but it still works.
Come on, let me go! Stop it! Dude, that isn't funny!
It is kind of funny, man.
So like I said, Andrew Garfield is amazing. He's a phenomenal actor. I just watched Tick, Tick, Boom, and it is only a matter of time before this man gets the Oscar he so rightfully deserves. That being said, when people bring up Garfield as Spider-Man, the usual verdict is that he's a great Spider-Man, but way too cool to be Peter Parker. And I sort of agree, maybe not really. If you're looking for a comic-accurate Peter Parker who's a lot nerdier and awkward, yeah, maybe this guy's too cool. Maybe Tom Holland's the pick you're gonna go with. But for the Peter we get in this film, honestly, I think he's still really good. Yes, he's too cool, but he still has that charm to him that makes him really likable. As far as Spider-Man goes, I think he's actually the best Spider-Man we've gotten. Hot take? I don't know, is that a hot take? Maybe. I'll get more into it in the next category, but there are a lot of scenes that really stand out to me. He's funny, maybe the funniest Spider-Man if we're being honest, and he's got all the wit you want in a good Spidey. Also, how can you not just love his relationship with Gwen Stacy? If you don't think this is the best couple we've gotten in all three sets of movies, you are almost objectively wrong. No diss to Maguire or Holland, but these two are just on another level. They can't be touched. They're so good together, and it makes Peter a lot more interesting as a character.
Hey, buddy, it's okay! It's alright! Hey, look! Just a normal guy.
As far as best scenes go, honestly, where do you want me to start? Call me Captain America, because I can do this all day. First off, all the stuff with Gwen, like I said, it's amazing, and it actually makes me believe in love, so good for that. The next scene I want to talk about, though, is the one where he saves that kid who's in that car that's about to fall off the bridge. For those who haven't seen it in a while, basically, you got this car that Peter webbed to the bridge to catch it, but it's slowly falling and there's a kid trapped inside. All the kid has to do is climb up to meet Peter, but he's too afraid, so Peter has to, give him the confidence and the courage to climb up out of the car. What an awesome scene this is. I love this scene for a variety of reasons because it's kind of the scene that represents Spider-Man as a whole. Yeah, he does some world-saving stuff like Lizard and in Endgame and all that stuff, but he's also a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He does neighborly stuff. In this scene, he puts all his effort into helping one kid find courage. Yeah, he wants to save his life, but also courage. He takes his mask off and reassures him of how capable he is, and I just think it's an awesome scene. It's the kind of scene that makes you see how important superheroes can be, regardless of if they're real or not. Also, the fight with Lizard in the school, that's pretty great too. I love how just fluidly, is that a word? I love how fluid Spider-Man moves in the fight. Yeah, that's it. I love how fluid Spider-Man moves in the fight, and I like seeing him use the webs in creative ways. What do you expect from Spider-Man? The dude is heroic as heck. The dude's awesome. Not only does he save the entire city from Lizard, Electro, Rhino, and Green Goblin, he takes time to help out the little guy in between. I think that when we talk about Peter being a hero, we have to talk about the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. The dude pretty much loses his girlfriend and like the love of his life, and he still bounces back to come help the city. He rises above his own grief and remains the hero the city needs, and if that isn't a great example of what a hero is, I don't know what to tell you. Spider-Man is an iconic character for a reason, and this version shows that just as well as any other. He helps the city, the little guy, his loved ones, he's here for anything, and that's why we love Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man might have an origin that feels unfulfilled with his parents, and the Uncle Ben thing, yeah, it's a bit of a rehash, but besides that, he's great. The character himself has so much personality, he's impossible to not like, and a large part of that is because Andrew Garfield is amazing. Yeah, he's cool, but who cares? This is just a different version of Peter, and not every single one has to be insanely accurate to the comic. I love his wit, and the kind of hero he is, and the relationship with Gwen, it's the best we get in all of Spider-Man. Besides the origin, he's near perfect, and that's why I'm going to give Andrew Garfield Spider-Man an 8.5.
Thinking straight, Doc. Stop it!
Thank you so much for watching, and if you got a hero you want to see me review, make sure you leave them down in the comments. I post hero reviews as often as I can. I know I've been slacking. 2022, we're going to get a lot more, mark my words. Let me know what you think of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.